Now, before I move on, let me just take 1 minute and explain the uniqueness of the gift that God's given me. It's called cubed poetry. First of all, it didn't exist until God revealed it to me. But as soon as He did, to me it made perfect sense. It just has 2 rules. Number 1, each pair of lines must rhyme. And number 2, the number of spoken syllables in each line must equal the total number of lines. For example, the poem I just read had 14 spoken syllables in the first line, which means there's 14 spoken syllables in every line and a total of 14 lines. Now, if you're wondering, how does having 14 lines and 14 spoken syllables per line make it cubed? It doesn't. That would just make it squared, 14 by 14. A poem is only cubed if it moves you in some way, whether it's a feeling of God's presence, a feeling of inspiration, or a sudden new awareness. That's what gives it the extra dimension and makes it cubed. And you might find it interesting that after I named it cubed poetry, someone pointed out to me that when you take an actual cube and unfold it from the center, 1 square up, 2 squares down, and 1 square on either side, guess what it reveals? A cross, pointing us directly to Jesus. So that's cubed poetry. Now, besides intentionally spending time with God each day, another way I've been growing closer to Him has been by recognizing my blessings. The next poem I wrote just after severely spraining my ankle and losing the ability to walk for a few days. It's a good example of God taking what seemed like a sad situation and using it for something good. It's titled Coming to Your Senses. Now, for just a moment, I want everyone here to close your eyes as I read this. Just relax and listen to the words. I'll let you know when you can open them again. Proverbs 20:12 says, "Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both." Have you ever really wondered how fortunate you are? Have you ever thought your blessings could outnumber the stars? First, imagine if you suddenly lost your sense of sight. Would you miss seeing the differences between day and night? Now imagine if you lost the ability to hear. As silence whispers in both ears, could you still persevere? Now imagine if you suddenly lost your sense of smell. Could you bid the sweet scent of flowers and fresh air farewell? Now imagine if you lost the ability to taste. What joy could come from eating if all flavors were erased? Now imagine if you suddenly lost your sense of touch. Does just the thought of such a loss make you feel very much? But since you're blessed with more than ears to hear and eyes to see, have the sense to thank God for giving no less than you need. You can open your eyes. See, to cultivate my own thankfulness, I wrote down the 20 things I'm most grateful for. I call it my list of gratitude. And I wanted to make sure I didn't forget what I wrote, so I hung it in a place I knew I'd see daily, my bathroom. And it works. Every time I read it, I'm reminded of how blessed I am. If you'd like to make a list of gratitude for yourself, I've made a free sample and template and a bunch of other free stuff available at eternalthanks.com. That's eternal, ETERNAL, thanks, THANKS.com.